All right, man. All right. I feel like we're live, man. I don't know. Uh-oh. Well, no, I can have this. I was in the green room, guys. So, I didn't want to be on camera with a bottle. But let me, one more time. The party soda is great. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is, wow. We're at, man, it's the end of season one, man. This is kind of a surreal show. I'm really proud of what we've done. Oh wait, first of all, welcome. It's Brown and Balance Day, everybody. I went right into it because it's just an emotional day because we're at season one of this project, and I'm just in a mood right now. My emotions are really high because of what we do. But welcome everybody. It is the Brown and Balance recap reunion show. I am Josh Davis, your humble host, Mr. Brown and Balance. I have three wonderful guests coming on today to go through the recap show with me. Three very integral parts of what we've been doing here with the Brown and Balance live show. But first, as always, before I get into my whole spiel, you already know how we do, man. Rest in peace, George Floyd. Rest in peace, Ahmaud Arbery. Make sure you still say Breonna Taylor's name. To the young lady here in Chicago who was accosted by the Chicago police, man, I don't know her name fully. I saw the article. I didn't get her name. We riding with you, sis, man, and we hope you get justice by what happened. Anybody that doesn't know, Chicago police had a bogus warrant or a wrong address on the warrant, and they completely violated a young black woman's civil rights. And, we don't like that around here. We don't do that around here. And I speak on it always. It's part of what Brown and Balance is all about, bringing things to the forefront. So to her, we're with you, sis. I'm looking for articles. I'm looking for things we can do to try to help you out, man. So by all means, prayers are with you. Also, a little better news and Black history news. I've been hitting y'all with little Black history news gems here and there. We got some special birthdays today. Last time we were on, it was Ho's birthday. I listened to Jay-Z for about 12, 13 hours straight. So it was a wonderful day for me. But today, the late, great Ossie Davis, rest in peace to him, a shining legend, icon in the Black acting community. Today is his birthday. Today is also another legend in the Black community, Cicely Tyson's birthday. So happy birthday to her. And a little younger than the two of those, but a legend in his own right. Today is DMX's birthday, man. So hopefully he's out there somewhere getting all the help he needs as well, and he's having a wonderful day. So today's Black History News, three very, very iconic, powerful Black people that have transcended time and have transcended the industries they've been in, man. Hopefully one day, myself and the rest of everybody at Brown and Balance will be mentioned alongside with the same amount of fervor and respect for those people. So, with that being said, let's get to the show. Y'all already know what I'm going to do first, right? Campari community. Hey, if you ain't signed up, sign up. That's all I'm going to say. I got tagged a few people on Instagram that signed up, tagged me, showed me they signed up. I appreciate you guys. After you sign up on Campari community, hit the link, sign up on the mailing list. Brittany Leach, I'm very sure is going to put the mailing list in the comments. It's going to pop up on my screen in a few minutes. You know what I mean? So make sure you guys, please, please, please do it. Campari has been doing wonderful things before we were in quarantine, but especially since we've been in quarantine, they have been doing wonderful things industry-wide, bringing education, bringing us all together. They have been partnering with me. We're doing this. They do their thing, man. They family. They're not, corporate. They're not, the brand. Like we always like to say, they're family. And speaking of family, since we're talking about Campari, I'm going to bring up Miss Campari herself. Miss Anne Louise is going to pop on the screen and come and hang out with us today. Hey, what's happening? I think you're still on mute. I think you're on mute.
Every time I'm on mute. Hi,
how are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on.
No, thank you. First of all, you helped me. I said it when we were in in the green room. You have allowed me to be on camera time for almost 8 hours. It'll be 9 hours a day, and I haven't cursed one time. It's because of you. So thank you.
I think that I've heard you swear a few times.
But not swear the way I like to swear.
Okay, so like when people say I'm not drinking and then they drink wine.
Boom. See?
Like that.
We're here now. We love you and we love Campari. See? We're doing it. But first of all, thank you. Because of you and the team, we have been able to do this. We've been partnering up, doing things since June. I mean, we've known each other for a while. Before that, we've done things before. So I just want to extend my thank yous to you for being behind this program and supporting it.
I mean, thank you. This is really all about what you wanted to do and your vision. And I think it's something as we started to figure out how to pivot in 2020 and what was going on, and also in reaction to all that was happening, there was definitely a need for these conversations. And it definitely wasn't a conversation like that I needed to lead. And I was really excited that you were so passionate about this. And we knew also that we knew who to go to because you'd been doing this work for so long. So thank you for being ready to take it on, and to the people, everyone at Portland Cocktail Week and to Brown and Balanced for leading this and for putting together such an incredible series of programs throughout the year.
No, thank you. Yeah, it's been a wild ride. Like when we first started talking about doing this, I had no idea. Like I had an idea the direction we wanted to go in, but I didn't know how it was going to play out. And I was looking back over all the old clips from the season, and I was just like, wow, like this really has turned into, a really, really dope program. So, for everything you guys done has been so much appreciated. But with that, what's your favorite part? I know you've been tuning in. What's been some of your favorite parts of the program you've seen?
It's so I've been like terrified of this question because I have so many favorite parts. I'm like, how do I choose? So I think we started with that Juneteenth, and I felt like that as awesome as the other programs have been, that moment was so raw and so necessary and powerful. And I loved getting to meet everybody. And some of them I already knew, but a lot of them, just getting to know them and hear more about their stories and to see them framed and highlighted and put forward was so important and so valuable and impactful to me and to so many people at our company. We sent it to everybody and had them watch it, and to the point now that Juneteenth is now a company day, it's a holiday at our company that we observe and we're participating in. And so, I mean, I don't want to say the first one was the best one because it definitely, has grown since there. I've loved to watch you
thank you.
Get more comfortable in your space and your role as a host. And I think that that's been really fun to watch your evolution of that and to see your questions evolve and your comfort on screen evolve. And then as my other favorite thing, I mean, I love all of it. I love getting to see people that historically we haven't seen forefront just in general. And then I think Kiata's gardening tips are also all life lessons as well. Every time she talks about gardening, it's also about me, she's like, don't be able to prune. And I'm like, right, I got to prune. This is good. So I love, I think she's been such a light, and learning from her has been so fun. So
cool.
Lots of favorite things.
Thank you. I know it's been a lot of fun, especially with you mentioning me being a host. Anybody that knows me, I kind of got pushed into the front. And I don't naturally like being in the front. I like being the guy that makes moves behind the curtain and pushes other people in front of me. So it's been really eye-opening for me to learn that, oh wow, I can actually host. I'm pretty good at it. I didn't know I was good at it, so you've helped me develop a skill while we've been at home in quarantine. So I gotta thank you again for that.
I did nothing but my pleasure. Yeah. It's, I think it's important too. So many people feel like they are background people. They feel like they're, they don't want to come out. And I think it's important to see people like you who are a little hesitant, who feel a calling and a necessity to do it, to come out and do it. I think that's inspiring. I am a natural extrovert who went to theater school for 15 years. It's understandable that I would get in front of people, but it's not as impactful to watch me do it as to watch someone like you who was a little bit afraid and got over it and came forward to say what was really important.
Yeah.
And so, I think it's really exciting.
Absolutely. When I'm in my comfort zone, I'm super extroverted. Anybody that knows me, we hung out together. We can have a good time, small space. We have a good time. But, I always look back to I always speak of my uncles and my dad and, all the impactful, my older brothers that super impactful in my life. They always say the loudest one in the room is the weakest one in the room. So I tend to not want to draw so much spotlight onto myself and just kind of, background and kind of watch my surroundings and just see what's going on and make moves that way. But you guys have definitely helped me, come out. And I'm like, wow, now I'm thinking about Brown and Balanced podcasts and, all different types we can do to kind of expand and keep growing off of this program. So.
I have to say, because this is something people ask me about all the time and looking for, how do I get started in the industry, or how do I get started with this thing I care about? And I often point to you. And it's because, and this thing I say a lot, it'll probably be like on my gravestone, is like, do the job before you have the job. And that does not mean work for free. And I need to say that to be clear. Like, I'm not saying go work for free, but I'm saying that there's a lot of work you can do before someone ever hires you to do it. And that's something that's such a great example of what you did. Like, you went out, you're like, I have a vision, I have this thing I want to do. And you just started doing it. Like, no one gave you permission. You just started doing it. And I think that that's something that now that we knew, or now that people knew, you were the person to go to. So I hope that this has been inspirational to other people, whatever they want to talk about, to take that inspiration of what you did with Brown and Balanced and grew it from a little, from a one night party at Portland or at Run Amok into something that might expand. And I mean, it's eventually you're going to have a TV show or something, like, we'll see. But
yeah, I'm with it. I had to get my hair cut and look a little bit.
I'm here for it.
Wearing my Campari sweater everywhere I go, though, because this is the most comfortable sweater. Like, my son tried to steal it the other day. I said, no, man, you can't have that.
No. I'm jealous. I don't even have one because I keep giving them away to people. And so I don't even have, I'm jealous.
Yeah, but I do want to say, earlier you said you didn't do anything. And I want to say, no, that's not true. You guys did a lot. In a time where everybody, was been up in the air because, quarantine and COVID and everything, and nobody knew what to do. And there was a lot of people out there asking about brands and doing all that stuff. You guys really stepped up and said, we want to be a part of this program. We want to help out. We want to help you be that voice. So for that, you did a whole lot. I'm eternally grateful to you guys for that. So thank you again. I'm going to say thank you.
Our pleasure. I mean, truly.
For real.
Thank you for doing it.
Always. You're going to hang out with me the whole show, right?
Whole show. I'll be here. So just, yeah.
So since we're going to do that, we're going to bring in our another guest, was a mainstay on the show. Miss Mia Love's going to come on in real quick and hang.
I love talking about money.
Always.
It's really important, and we don't talk about it enough. So this has been so cool. I'm so excited. I'm going to step away, but I'm so excited.
Cool. So Mia, what's going on?
Hey, what's going on? Just sitting here trying to figure out which one of my wonderful Campari cocktails I'm getting ready to make. It's a little early here, so don't judge me. It's 11:12 in the morning, but I am having a Campari cocktail.
5 o'clock somewhere.
It's true.
And no light, just have a Campari soda like myself. I haven't pulled out the big gun yet. I'm going to drink some of that a little bit later, but I'm just having a little Campari soda and just hanging out and chilling. You know what I mean?
Sounds good. Progressive. I like it.
So you've been a mainstay on the show. You've been on 4 episodes. You talked a lot about what you do. You gave people a bunch of tips. What's been some of your favorite moments outside of yours that in Brown and Balanced Live that we've done?
Oh my gosh, there have been so many moments. They've all been amazing. I mean, all the shows have been spectacular. The quizzes were fun. Doing the interactive chats with everybody as they drop information in the comments. It's just been wonderful. I mean, Brown and Balanced is an amazing platform. Lush Life has been extremely supportive. Portland Cocktail Week is something that I always look forward to. So being able to merge all those together with the amazing, Campari community it's just been amazing. So when you can make money fun, and when you can make money in a situation where people are relaxed and they're having a good time, that in and of itself is huge. So just being able to bring that to this platform has been awesome.
Word. Well, speaking of that, my producer just got in my ear. We were just talking real quick. I saw me do like this. My producer got in my ear. So with that, we have a set of clips from this season. We're going to do about 4 or 5 different sets of clips from the season to share. This one I put together. The rest of them are random. I don't know what's going to come on. We'll definitely come back on and talk about the clips as we watch them. But the first set of clips, because I know you hate seeing yourself talk on camera, is the best of Mia Love Volume 1. I got a Volume 2 in the stash. But the best of Mia Love Volume 1 is about to come on the screen. So we're going to check those out, and then we'll come back and talk about them after.
Okay. This is going to be interesting.
Very.
I'm going to go straight into this information about credit, because it's super important that right now people are able to protect their finances. There's so much stuff going on in the community and so much stuff going on, with the second half of the shutdown, and people really need to be able to know what's going on with their finances. So I'm here to tell you a little bit about that. I'm Mia Love. A lot of people know me as a Good Credit Diva. I did change my brand. So now it is Real Freedom with Love, and you'll see that everywhere. So the meaning behind Real Freedom with Love is because in order for you to have financial freedom, in order for you to have physical freedom, in order for you to have spiritual or mental freedom, you have to do that with love. And so it works out well that my last name is Love. But listen, let's get straight into the information that you are here to see. So I'm just going to tell you how your credit score is calculated, because when you're applying for an apartment, when you're applying for a house, a car, they tell you what your score is, but they don't tell you what that score is made up of. So it's like, where did you get this mystery number? Where did you come up with how my credit score is calculated? So I look at length of credit like I look at relationships. Say you have friends that you've been friends with for a really long time and you don't talk to them every day. You don't end the friendship. You don't say, I'm not going to talk to you again. Well, okay, you're not supposed to. if the credit, as long as they haven't done anything wrong to you. If you don't talk to them every day, you still keep them on as friends. Same thing with your credit cards. You still keep them on as creditors. You don't want to throw that creditor out the door. There's a lot of people say, I'm going to pay this off and I'm going to close it. Don't close it. So like we talked about before, we talked about what your credit score is made up of before. Just continue to monitor it. We gave some tips about how you can do that. You can use smart credit. You've got to open the mail, and you've got to make sure that you are keeping those balances below 30%. That's super important, to make sure that you put whatever you can into keeping those balances below 30%. Then the other thing is that if you happen to pay off a card, do not close that card, because the credit bureau can't tell whether it was closed by you, the consumer, or whether it was closed by the credit grantor. So a lot of people think they're doing themselves some good when they pay it off and getting rid of it. You're hurting yourself. You want to keep those accounts open. And if you're just in a place of building, we'll give you some amazing tips about building your credit as we kind of go through this little quiz that I have for you, because I want to see if you've been paying attention.
Wait, it's for me? All right, let's go with this quiz, man. Like, I'm
Okay.
going to be honest with you. You know me. You know I'm going to answer all the questions right.
And I'm going to make my drink while I do that. I just want to give a shout out. See, I'm a Behind the Barrel alumni. So this actually is from Behind the Barrel. This is my Russell's Reserve that is signed by Eddie Russell, Jimmy Russell, and I got Miss Joretta's signature on here too. So
nice.
This before, I'm going to open this one. I thought about opening this one. This is a really special bottle. And let me turn it the right way. I got this bottle from you at Brown and Balance in Oakland. This is the one that you gave me. I had a really rough week leading up to that, had lost a friend. And when I came to Brown and Balance, you presented me with this and the poster. So really appreciate you and Brittany for that. So I've got this one. Still haven't opened this one. We'll have to take a sip of this one together at some point. But I am
whenever I'm on the West Coast, we'll have to do that for sure.
Absolutely. But I am going to go ahead and pop this Russell's Reserve and put it in my alkaline tea. I'm being healthy.
See, that's dope. You're doing tea. I'm doing Russell's Reserve and coffee. So
okay. Yeah. Awesome. Cheers. Okay, so you ready for the quiz?
Let's do it. All right, let's do it. I went to public school, so you got to go easy on me.
All right, so this is actually going to be easy. It's myths about credit. So there's going to be 5 myths about credit. Those of you that have been in our sessions at Portland Cocktail Week, you may be familiar with some of these, but it's always good to refresh and learn. All right, so myth number 1. Credit agencies are empowered with some type of governmental authority. True or false?
Nah, they can't do nothing to you for real.
Right. Credit agencies have no legal authority at all. They're simply private companies who are in the business of selling information about credit. And what I want people to realize is that one of the major credit bureaus, which, we have TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian, one of the major credit bureaus is actually owned by Goldman Sachs Bank. So that punctuates the fact that, guys, these are not government agencies. They have these very strongly worded letters that they send you, and they say all this stuff about being able to take your house, your cat, your dog, your future. Stuff, but these are private companies, and so they word that language so that they can come after you and get you scared and get you to commit to that debt. Someone just asked me about why we don't delete student loans, and I want to give you the information on that too. Because I went to college a long time ago, long time ago, like they say in the movies. So, and no jokes from you, Josh, because he always teases me about my age. But listen, I would never want that student loan to come off, because that's a part of my credit history. That's my oldest credit line. So I don't want that to be deleted. If I paid it late, yes, I want that delinquent payment to be deleted, but I don't want that full thing to go away, because that's taking away my oldest line of credit. And that too is going to drop your score.
Is there anything else you want to leave with everybody, tips and tricks wise, credit wise,
Just tap in. The best thing I can say is tap in, because like I said, everybody's situation is different. Like, I'm going to make my Grand Marnier and tea different than you would make your Grand Marnier and tea. So listen, everybody's situation is different. I'm here to help you. There's no one size fits all, but the good part about it is we can fix it. Anything that you have going on with your credit or your finances, we can fix it. Nothing is too big. Nothing is too small. And you deserve to have real freedom with love. So that's what I've got to say.
Wow, that's dope. That's dope. That's fun. That's the best of me and love volume. Actually, what we'll do is we're gonna bring Anne Louise back on too, so we can all talk about the volume 1. I got more of them in my phone. Don't worry, they'll hit the net at some point. You know what I mean? But I appreciate you. You gave people a lot of tips, a lot of tricks, a lot of things. I've heard you. We've talked over the time we've known each other. It's been really dope. The one thing I did notice was episode 5. I had COVID while we were doing that, and I didn't tell anybody, and I gutted through that whole episode the whole time. So thank you for saving me that episode, making me do a little bit better. And then I'll leave it to you guys to talk about highlights, what you guys thought about it.
I don't have much to add to it. So when I started, a couple of years ago, I started doing something called Money Mondays, and I would just post money management stuff over the, just random stuff, like you're saying, credit stuff or savings. And when COVID happened, I did one post that was here's all the ways, because we didn't know how long it was going to last. Right. And then I just fell off. I was I felt uncomfortable talking about money at that point, because I knew some people were struggling, and I knew that I was in a place of privilege in so many ways. And so I just I didn't know what else to say. And I love that you guys took this on, Mia, and that I learned about you, and you are such an incredible educator, and you make things so accessible, and you're so unjudgmental.
Oh, well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I definitely appreciate that. And, like I said, appreciate the opportunity to make money fun. It's so hard to do because it's so stressful for people. So when you're surrounding it, with all the stuff that we have here with Brown and Balanced and the partnership with Campari Community and Portland Cocktail Week, it makes it in a setting that's relaxed, especially when you're talking with a familiar face. And I post a lot of stuff about money, but I also post other stuff so people can get to know different sides of me. I really want to make sure that folks know that I'm extremely approachable and non-judgmental. And it comes from being in that place. I came up from a tax lien and a wage garnishment. I had a great salary, and, people say I have more degrees than a thermometer or Arizona or Las Vegas, but it didn't stop me from getting myself in financial trouble. And so I need people to know that it happens to great people all the time. So that's, the mission, the goal, to educate, motivate, and inspire.
Do you have any end of the year tips, tricks, things people should be thinking about before we start 2021?
Right. Really right now, when people are in this kind of weird place, right, going into the end of the year and the holidays are coming and everybody feels pressure to purchase gifts and do stuff like that for folks. Just to be extremely creative and to let people know that sharing information as a gift is so much more important than spending a bunch of money in a store and things like that. So just like that section of clips to me, like Josh said, I don't like seeing myself on camera, but, Anna Louise, as you said, it was impactful information. So I appreciate that. So maybe you can do something like that for friends and family, put together a collage of photos and stuff like that. And then the other thing that I've been telling people to do, reach out to the companies that you do business with. Your insurance company is likely offering a discount on your insurance premium. They're not going to tell you, but if you call them and say, hey, my situation has changed, they'll extend a discount. Cell phone companies, same thing. You've got to reach out to these folks and find out what's available to you. And I'm always available to do free consultations. So if there's anything that I can help with, reach out, and I'm here to help.
That's so generous. And it's such a good tip. We always forget to ask for help, or we ask for a discount when they're sitting there. They have them. They're just not going to volunteer the information. Another thing, how do you feel about for Christmas gifts or holiday gifts in general? For kids, I'll do a 529. Mm-hmm. So I'll set up a 529, and then I just start to put a little bit of money away for them and talk to them about what a 529 is. Could you talk a little bit about that? Or do you do those? I don't know.
We do those. We actually start with something that it's called the Youth Financial League. And so that's something that we do where we put money aside for scholarships. In fact, we have a scholarship that ends tomorrow, and I will post that information on my page. It's for high school seniors and college freshmen. We're giving away $600,000 to, to ease up the cost of higher education for folks. But yeah, 529s are great ways. You've got to educate young people. As soon as you feel like they can conceptualize what's going on with money, you want to start bringing them into that conversation. So if you're setting up 529s, you want to let the young people in your life know that that's happening and know how that's going to be able to benefit them in the future. Don't make money taboo with the young people in your life. When people say stuff like, my parents used to always say, do you have any McDonald's money? Anytime I say I wanted to go to McDonald's, you don't realize you're creating this trauma around money and, something as simple as McDonald's. Tell me that McDonald's is not good for me and then I can pick something at home to eat. But don't create that trauma, don't make it so like talk about lack and not having things, even if that is the reality of the situation. There's ways to make it so that we don't create that fear in kids so young. Talking about building from a small place like that 529 and how that's going to benefit them in the long run. It may not be money that you can access right this moment, but I'm building for your future. And I made a shift to a term that I use. I used to always talk about generational wealth, but what I thought about is that only goes one level. We need to do multi-generational wealth. We need to set things up that are going to take care of our children's children, and our children's grandchildren. And so if you think about it in that aspect and involve them in the situation of taking care of the household, take them inside the bank with you, let them push the buttons at the ATM so that they can see what happens, that this is transactional, and involve them in how that goes, then you're going to save a lot of people from the situations a lot of us were in by not being taught about financial literacy in school.
And what you're saying about generational wealth or multi-generational, which I love, is not just the money, it's the conversation. It's the psychology around how we talk about money. And so also learning to pass that down. Like my parents never talked to me about money, which is why I talk so much about money, because it's so important. And I think that's also for you, your experience as well. So it's like also getting rid of that like emotional trauma around money as we move it forward, both in our actual families and also like in our, bar families. And helping everybody. So that's so inspirational. I love that.
Absolutely.
That was dope. Hey, y'all, that was great. Y'all just created a whole nother segment. That was great. So, hey, guys, before the end of the year, Uncle Josh always likes to leave y'all with some education. Fellas, when women are speaking, sit back and listen, bro. You're going to learn something. Trust me. All right? Trust me. Y'all saw what y'all know I like to talk. I just was sitting here like, So, just guys out there, when the ladies are speaking, just let them talk and listen. It'll benefit you in the long run. Trust me. So before we move on to our next segment, we got some more clips to look at. Before we do it, especially because everybody go follow Campari Community.
And then also, I just sent Brittany a note, and maybe she'll add the link. So we have two mailing lists. We have a mailing list that's like just our emails, and then we also have a special mailing list that you get like actual mail from me. So we send out little presents all year long. So Brittany's, and I don't usually share that link on something as public, but Brittany is going to share that. So anyone watching today that's not on my mailing list, please sign up. I would love to send you some very cool swag throughout the year.
Yeah, stuff like this.
It's great swag.
Oh my!
Not that nice, but nice. Yeah.
I love the little dice.
Yeah, the coloring book was great. Like I enjoyed that. Like I haven't colored in 30-something odd years. So that was great to just sit with the kids and just do that together. That was yeah, so thank you. All right. So my producer told me we got our next set of videos up, our segments. We had some really good segments this year. We had somebody come get these kids. We had gardening with Kiata. We had work it with Christina. Shout out to Paris, who was our first in the streets consultant, would come get these kids. She accepted another position, so she wasn't able to stay along with us through the whole season one. But I wanted to make sure I give her some love for being a part of this project. And then also welcome Sherry in, because Sherry Bradley, my sister, who was able to step into those shoes and keep it going. So with that being said, let's move on to the next set of clips. Me again. Enough of me. Y'all going to hear from me throughout the whole show. We're going to have fun. I'm on to my very first special invited guest, my friend, my homie, Miss Kiata, straight out of Atlanta.
Hey.
What up, girl? What's going on?
Man, you know how it is down here. Atlanta's like, You're doing that thing. The word of the season is pivot. Everybody's pivoting from their careers. You're pivoting.
I like that. Like, I like that. You know, as a hooper, as a ball player, you know, I love to pivot because, you know, you can't do nothing unless you pivot first. So I dig that, man. How are you two? How are you doing personally, though? How are you doing personally before we get into the segment?
I am doing good. I wake up every morning. I am blessed with groceries in my refrigerator. I am blessed with 3 healthy children. I am blessed with a man that still loves me through my craziness, and a career that still loves me, and I've learned to pivot in. So I am doing great. I cannot complain. I won't complain. It don't matter if you do, because don't nobody care. People don't have time to listen to you complain about nothing.
Black women, man, y'all are magical. It's just what it is. Like I feel like, you know, today was ironic that it was so many dope, smart, talented, amazing Black women on the show, and then what's happened this week just confirmed that I think I'm Nostradamus. I think I knew, you know, Black women hold the whole country down real quick. So why not have some of the dopest that I know come on and spread their magic on here as well? So I appreciate you for real. Like,
thank you. It's good to hear. It's so good to hear. You get labeled so much. Oh, this angry Black woman, this such and such Black woman. Like, you never hear the good about you, and it's really good to hear. So, I mean, some of us are good, some of us aren't, but, you know, most of us are good-hearted people.
I'm going to be talking to you guys about something near and dear to all of our hearts, whether you have them or not. You are connected to them in some way, I'm sure. Children, parenting. Parenting and life in itself is a whole mood and a whole segment. But we're going to talk about parenting as it pertains to our responsibilities as bartenders and bar owners and adults with lives, and just everything inclusive of that. So we're going to touch on some really interesting topics, some that you may not be thinking of and some that we may put on your mind. So our first topic today, I'm really excited. I haven't seen him physically in over a year. I think Portland Cocktail Week was the last time I saw Xander Aquilou from Denver, Colorado.
Hey, what's up, Sherry?
How do you balance the time? Because at home is a full-time job, and then at work a full-time job. So when do you rest? What do you do when you relax and take some Xander time? Do you relax and take some Xander time?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I'm really grateful to have an amazing partner. Lindsay's like the best mom ever, and she has a lot on her plate, and I wouldn't be able to do anything without her. So I think having her around really helps me out, and it gives me the time to work, and also gives me time to decompress. I've always thought I was pretty introverted, but I'm starting to realize like I really like being around people, especially like my friends. So I just try to carve out time, like, you know, once a week where I can just sit down with the homies and chop it up and just have a conversation. You know, don't got to do much. You know, we can just kick it, drink a beer or something, or have some wild turkey and just hang out. You know.
Absolutely. Is there anything else you want to share with us about parenting? Period.
Yeah. I think that it is something that more people should do. Especially, I mean, I think bartenders are just such caring and loving people, and I'd love to see more people like that have kids. And it's scary and it's terrifying and it's a challenge.
It is.
And I
kind of wing it the whole way through.
You know, they say becoming a parent just makes your life 10 times harder, and that has never been truer in my life, especially now. You know, it's like I've always been a goal-oriented person, and you know, trying to be that, you know, person that still achieves all the goals that I have set for myself, you know, in the past, and also incorporate all my new goals in motherhood. It's been a struggle. It's been a struggle to balance the two. But I feel like, you know, I tell myself, as long as I get one thing done a day, as long as I accomplish one thing, I'm okay. Because that's really all I can do, especially in these times. You know, you know, I can't go anywhere.
Exactly.
So as long as I can, as long as I can achieve something, or you know, get myself into a position to better achieve my goals every day. That's really what I shoot for.
But I saw your page and I checked it out, and I'm like, you were doing some amazing things. with fitness. So again, I'm not the pro. I'm gonna get out the way and I'm gonna let you just do your thing.
Oh, thank you, Josh. I appreciate you. Well, welcome all. I'm Christina Ash, and I am a former bartender. I bartended for 19 years. So it's been trial and error trying to bring my healthy lifestyle options into my life. So I know being a bartender, it can be taxing. We work a lot of hours. Sometimes we don't even get to sleep enough. We don't get to eat. I mean, sometimes family meals is just not an option. So I had to figure out how to not be hangry. I had to figure out how to put in workouts for myself in this busy schedule. And it's worked out pretty well. I know a lot of us have a lot of anxiety going on right now, which is very normal. But sleep, we need sleep for our brain health, to be more cognitive. And a suggestion to get more sleep: lie down. Say you go to bed around 11. Lie down at 10 o'clock instead. Try to put the devices down. The blue light from our devices suppresses our melatonin. So it actually makes our body think it's still daytime. And if you actually pay attention to that, you'll notice like, wow, why am I tossing and turning? And I just had to put my phone down maybe like 10 minutes ago, because your body still thinks it's daytime.
Just for anybody out there that's trying to work out, I was talking with a friend of mine. She's a lady. I don't know if you weight train, but she was scared of weight training because she was like, well, I don't want to look like a man. I was like, well, weight training doesn't do that to women. I mean, to me, as far as I've seen, but more than I would. There's some tips and tricks you can give to the ladies as far as weight training goes.
Ladies, number one, you will not look like a man if you lift weights. That is a promise. We have so much estrogen in us that requires us to have a fat on our bodies. So unless you're taking supplements, then you will not look like a man. Using 10-pound dumbbells when you train, you just add some resistance and will help build muscle. But there's no way you're going to come out looking like Hulk Hogan. I can promise you that.
Thank you. Because I had someone that she was really like, we were in the gym, we were talking, and she was just like, well, I don't want to look like you. I was like, no, you're not going to look like me. I don't want to look like me right now. That's why I'm in the gym.
So first tip, the more you prune something back, the more it's going to grow. So don't be scared to cut stuff when it's growing, or don't be scared to eat off or to use whatever you're growing. It's not there for just decoration. Let's see. Number 2, if you mess something up, it's okay. Like, I can't stress that enough. So many people get so upset when they cut something back too far, or they, everything for the most part is fixable. If you can get it back in the earth and let those roots connect, you're good. So don't feel like you're a failure. And I've had a lot of fails, I swear. And also, I mean, don't be afraid to taste and try new things, man. This is what this is about. This is the beauty of being a cocktail artist, a bartender, whatever we're calling ourselves right now. I'm old school. I'm a bartender. All those fancy words be getting me confused. I don't do all the fancy words. But I say that to say, taste what you have. I never would have thought persimmon and sage would be beautiful together until I tried it. I did, and it is. Just take the chance. And if it doesn't taste good, toss it. Do it again.
Word. All right.
Yeah. Overwinterizing. So overwintering is a technique on how you can cut down your plant that you want to save and keep it comfortable through the winter. The biggest and most popular thing that people tend to overwinterize is peppers. Peppers are perennials. And for those who don't know, perennials mean that they return. The roots are embedded into the soil, and they have set up a growing structure within the soil, and they can come back every year. Annuals do not. Annuals give you one good year, and then they're out. So a lot of herbs and even flowers are annuals, and they're good for the year. And, you can take them out and you can compost them and give them back to the earth, and then you can get some more for next year. Or you can invest a little bit more money and get perennials, and they can give you a couple of years. If you really take care of them, you can breed them to be more heirloom, and you can keep them coming on for years and years to come.
That was cool. That was really cool. I think, first of all, shout out to Kiara and Christina. when I came up with the segments part and we as a team were talking, I didn't want to do the normal cocktail stuff that we always do, because it's like, yo, we all at home, like, and for the most part we all know most of that stuff anyway. Let's come up with something different, some life things that people can do, and some things just kind of switch up the narrative. With like bartenders, we just only geek out over cocktail stuff. Like, we geek out over other things. You know, due to Christina and COVID, I've lost 18 pounds. So, you know, I'm good. You know what I mean? I'm learning how to garden with Kiara, so I'm going to definitely try to start one. You know, I'm in Chicago, so ain't no gardening happening right now this time of year. But when the weather changes, you know, I'm going to try to, you know, try my hand at it and see if I'm good at it. So that was my thoughts on it, and I love the way they turned out. You guys have any thoughts on how the segments work?
I mean, I thought they were absolutely amazing. I marvel at all the talent that we have in this community. You know, not only can people make dope drinks, but there's so much other stuff that goes into it. And so just people's willingness to share their personalities and talents. I've learned so much. The winterizing, that was something that, you know, had my mind boggled. And also, I often mess things up. I don't have any live plants in my house for that exact reason, but I do have a garden that was started at the beginning of COVID. And one of the things that I learned is that, you know, like Kiara said, if you mess it up, it's okay. It's a plant. It's going to grow back. You can't necessarily do that with kids, you know, so you mess them up. They're kind of, so I'm glad that plants are much more forgiving. You know, and just one of the tips that I figured out for plants, so, you know, people started buying organic and became a lot more conscious of the stuff that they were purchasing throughout the season, right? Because you may feel like, I'm not going out, I have some extra money, I want to treat myself better, I want to buy organic. But those organics go bad very quickly because they are organic. So what you can do as that leafy vegetable starts to take a nosedive, or those bananas and stuff, put them in the freezer, because then you're going to save money on the back end. When you want to make a smoothie, you grab that stuff that was about to take a nosedive and you can create your own smoothie and save yourself whatever your favorite smoothie shop was going to charge you. So I started doing that when I brought the stuff in the house. So.
What? And Louise?
So smart. I just love these women, and they're so incredible. And I love the non-judgmental, open energy they all bring, like Mia brings too. Like, that's something that's really makes it approachable and accessible. I feel like a lot of stuff we see on the internet is kind of shaming you into, or shaming me at least, like into not living a certain way or not doing something all the time. And so I love that their approach is just really generous and really spacious. And like I said, like Kiara, like, I mean, she's like a source of wisdom. Like, her gardening could also be like life lessons, you know, and also maybe not with kids mess up, but like with life, like sometimes you mess up and then you can fix it and it's okay. And also, like, the more you strip down, the more you get to become the next thing. And so I love that. And I really enjoy watching her kind of come into this place and her power too of being an expert. And that's been really, really exciting.
Dope. Yeah, and the other thing I didn't mention earlier, but the Come Get These Kids is great. Like, I remember, you know, working private events, working at a bar, and working a 9 to 5 all at the same time as a father of 3 children. So when they were smaller. So I remember how things were. They're bigger now, they're self-sufficient. I haven't broken any of them, I don't think. Yet, you know, I got 1 to 18, he's an adult. So, you know, we're gonna work on the other 2 and get them there in the next 6-7 years. But, you know, to hear other parents was really cool to me, and hear younger parents, like Xander's younger than me, and, you know, I've kind of taken Xander as like a little brother, and we talk all the time. So I learned stuff about him that day, about his struggles, you know, with autism, and his daughter having autism, and how to do that. Like, I was just mind blown at that. So that was, I as a veteran parent, I still learned something new from some younger parents for me. So that was all, like, the segments were just amazing in this first season.
Yeah, it's something we're not really able to talk about so often. So it was good, you know, especially working for a liquor company, we're not allowed to talk about children. Right. So being able to work with you guys and have you host those conversations really lets us be supportive of it without really being able to talk about it. And I loved hearing that.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well,
Definitely.
we got some more segments. We're going to go, actually, before I do that, Uncle Josh's second tip for the fellas: surround yourself with women. And you see how much smarter you get? Think about it. We've been dominated by women in all the segments so far. You have Mia, you have Anne Louise, you have Kiara, Christina. You can get smarter. So, fellas, please trust me on this. Surround yourself with strong, powerful women. It will make you a better man. So that was my shameless plug to you ladies, and Uncle Josh's words of wisdom, part 2. It'll probably be a couple more before we get out of here today. But the third list of videos we have is from when we started our partnership, Ann Louise. We're going to catch up with the Juneteenth people, and we're going to find out what everybody's been up to since Juneteenth and look at some of those highlights. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. I got to call my producer real quick. Maybe we'll come back to these. I'm gonna talk to production, and maybe we'll come back to these, and we'll get this sound right. Maybe.
I want to hear what Capri's saying.
I know. I do love looking at Capri and Mike, though.
I love her. Yeah, I want to hear. She's talking about. Oh man.
Oh, look, we'll fix. Hey, you know what? Live shows, right? We'll fix it and come back to it. You know what I mean? I don't know what happened. I called the producer. He's working on it now. But so what we'll do is we'll just move to our next segment and then come back. With after the Juneteenth, we always have featured guests and we always have. Oh, got it? We up?
Let's try it.
Boom.
Great. How you doing?
Man, I'm just drinking, hanging out, doing what we do. Trying to show all this Black excellence on the screen. You know what I mean?
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So, yo, what Chocolate City Best been up to since June?
I mean, a whole lot of things. We are up to a whole lot. So right now we are gearing up to our third annual competition this year. It's going to be so amazing. We just finished and shut down applications for that. So we're blind judging right now. You all will know the top 2 coming next week. And I mean, we have so much geared up for them this year, and it's going to be about mentorship. It's going to be about education. It's going to be about empowerment, entrepreneur empowerment, and just about having fun and getting together across the country. So I'm really, really excited about that.
So, turntables, we started last year, had maximum impact with 7 graduates. This year, we have a whole new crew of people. Just to give you a breakdown on what Turntables is, it's a 12-week program with about 300 hours of in-class training that covers everything from spirits, beer, wine, bar management, waste, you name it, like mental health and industry lifestyle maintenance. We cover it all, and we bring in mentors. Now, because of COVID, we have mentors from all around the country. So specifically, they have an opportunity to work in different bar and restaurant spaces. And this year, speaking of Juneteenth, working with a lot of people that were on that panel to kind of to teach and meet and be a part of the process, reaching out to everybody so they could see all their brothers and sisters all around the country. And so speaking of pivoting, we're doing a lot of virtual events, and mixture of virtual and in-class and time and personal events. And then also, just like I said, just like giving them all the opportunities to create their own spaces. So we have a partner that's giving us a space where they can create their own bar program and kind of cost everything out. Think about the ambiance, think about the space. From day one, we talk to them about their identity and their place in the industry. So we're empowering them from day one to do their own thing and be entrepreneurs and innovate and pivot. And this new class is so impressive. I mean, I don't know how to explain it. I'm sure your first child is the most meaningful child to you, but then once you have another one, that one's just special to you. And in that sense, last year's class, they're so special to me in so many ways. This new class, covers, it's a wide spectrum of just people with, industry experience that never got an opportunity to move past a certain glass ceiling. And then there's, super green people. They're just learning how to bartend and learning about service for the first time.
Just like Brown and Balance, just like some of the other organizations that you talked about, we've already been on this path for a really long time. And so BBS typically does events in an in-person, space. So we produce events all across the country. Here you're looking at an event that we did in Atlanta last summer or summer before last, where we do tastings, we do educational seminars, we do dinner and wine pairings, and food pairings. We do all of that. We also
trips to Louisville. So we have this behind the scenes experiences with the brands, and really just showcasing and bringing forward what the African American consumer looks like to the brands. Because again, as we talked about during our Juneteenth celebration, now like the brands, they don't really know us beyond the statistics in their research, in their market research. But it's an opportunity for them to get a chance to experience us in the flesh, read energy, share energy, and for them to really understand what the African American consumer is.
What's been going on since Juneteenth? What y'all been up to?
We've been up to a lot. We've been having some tough conversations with some of the brands we work with, some of our local partners, just to make sure that the conversation on diversity and inclusion hasn't stopped. We have had a mission to create and encourage a more diverse food and beverage market since the beginning of Cocktail Bandits. So this has really been a time for us to stand up and say, okay, you guys see now what we were saying, and now is the time to put some initiatives in place to be able to market to minorities and also engage diverse audiences into your brand, into your restaurants.
Absolutely. And I feel like during this time of this pandemic, we've really been able to hone in on really what works for our business. When you're starting something like a Cocktail Bandits or Brown and Balance, you're really just trying to say yes to everything and figure out what works for you and what doesn't work. So it's been a blessing to sit down a little bit and just really observe what's benefiting us, what's benefiting our brand, and what's benefiting our community.
I personally am very, very passionate about history and education. So I know that I personally will continue to be spreading the good gospel and all of the things that I have acquired, all of the knowledge that I acquired over this time and how it relates, knowing where I come from and how it relates to where I want to go. I'm going to keep talking that. So that is always going to be essentially a part of what Cause and Stir is too, just because I'm always going to be involved in it. But I do see it expand. Like I appreciate doing the events, because the events are a way for us to highlight the people that are grasping the information and learning how to utilize it, in the right way. And we're essentially giving a platform for people to, like this, like Brown and Balance. We're giving a platform for people that are doing something to get seen and heard,
Since Juneteenth, I really appreciate y'all having me involved in that. That was a beautiful celebration of Black liberation. And that's basically what I've been doing since Juneteenth, is fighting for Black liberation. And through Boss, we have been doing some eviction court sit-ins. So we're kind of been on the front line of the housing justice here in Louisville. It's a pandemic, and it's very shocking to find out that people are still being evicted in mass numbers. Like I said, it's a pandemic, so people cannot pay their bills. They're not going to work like normal. They're not living the lifestyles that they used to live. And I think that needs to be accounted for. Housing is a human right. And it's just really crazy that people are out here having to sacrifice one thing or another to make ends meet. So we've been basically sitting in on these eviction courts that every Monday through Thursday, 9 a.m. till noon. I don't have a life anymore. I don't think I've had a life for a while, but I haven't had a life anymore. So that's what we do. We document and we kind of hold these judges and these landlords and these shady attorneys accountable for these kind of round the way antics that they're taking to get people evicted. So people have been protected, for non-payment of rent, but these landlords and these attorneys are finding loopholes, like, people's grass is too high, noise complaints that don't have to be verified by the police, your trash could be too close to the sidewalk. And it's just crazy that through this, like, most turbulent time in our history anyway, that people are having to deal with these kind of issues. So we've basically been doing all of that. We reach out to tenants and we, give them whatever resources we can provide for them at the time, whether that be, temporary housing until they find new housing. We clean for them. We help them box up their, living areas. We hold the landlords accountable. Like I said, that's some things that I can't really say on the live, but, I'm an action queen. Okay. So we'll find your behind.
That was great, man. Shout out, shout out, shout out, shout out to Prince, man. That was dope. That was actually all I can say to recap Juneteenth was just Black excellence. I mean, those are some people who I look up to, who I look at, you know, for inspiration. You know, some of us have collabed together. We all talk all the time, man. So shout out and salute to all of you guys. So to keep the show moving, we have one more very special guest that's coming in every week, along with the segments, along with the catch-ups, along with the intros, and all the other cool stuff we did. We have a partner that would interview the bartenders along with me. So we would collaborate on questions to ask bartenders, and then we would throw them in a document, and she would share them on her platform. So without further ado, Miss Tara Fowler, bring her on in. What's up, lady?
Hello. Happy holidays. Happy Campari Brown and Balanced Day.
I know, right? You got the tree in the back, like a whole...
I'm with it. I've got my holiday sweater. It's like this is happening right now. I'm so proud of you, Josh. I am.
Thank you. You know, I'm learning to accept praise. I'm learning, so thank you.
That is a grace for sure.
Thank you, because I mean, we've known each other for a while through the internet, and we really got to meet doing this and jump right in. You jumped in with 2 feet, partnered with us, helped us out a lot, gave way much more exposure. So, you know, again, thank you to you for everything you've done, you know, as far as Brown and Balance goes. I appreciate it.
I appreciate that, and I appreciate you. I know this was a time when we have been, as an industry and as society, we've been called upon to amplify Black voices and Black stories. And my favorite part was, because we can't travel and we can't go to places, Brown and Balance has taken me to Birmingham, Alabama, to Dayton, Ohio, to Atlanta, Georgia, to Charlotte, North Carolina, to Chicago, Illinois, and I want Washington, D.C. I don't want to forget any other cities, but you know, at a time where we've been missing that connection, you know, Brown and Balance and you have taken me to all of these bars. New Orleans, much love to New Orleans, Louisiana. I'm forgetting some, but you've taken us to these cities to meet people that I may not have met this year had it not been for you, and people that we should know, because they're all incredibly talented. And these clips it's been so fun watching, reliving the moments.
Yeah, it was great. Like, when we were putting the clips together, like, I was looking back at all the episodes, like, wow, like, look at us. You know what I mean? Like, the purpose of Brown and Balance, when we started, was, you know, not to knock anybody, right? But everybody knows me. Everybody knows Ashton. Everybody knows Tiff. Everybody knows, you know, all the DC homies, Mills and Torrance and all them guys. And it was like, a lot of us get a lot of opportunity already, and we're blessed for it. And I thank everybody who's given me opportunities over the years, and I'm sure they all feel the same way. But as we're getting older, it's just like the NBA, right? As you're getting older, you got to welcome in that new crop to continue to push the game and elevate the game forward. Like, if it stopped with Michael Jordan in '98, we wouldn't have the LeBrons and the KDs and the Steph Currys and all these guys that are leading us into this new millennium of legends and dope ballers. So I was like, well, why don't we do that in the bar world? Because if we don't reach back and elevate those that are coming up, that remind us of us when we were young and hungry and just wanted it all, then what are we doing here, right? You know, you should always use your platform to elevate the next person. You know what I mean? That's just the mantra I live by just in my life. So I was really happy to bring some faces that weren't as recognizable. And hopefully now they'll be more recognizable. And then, because it's like, we in our community, we know them, but everybody doesn't. So let's bring them to the whole world and push them forward. And that's really all I wanted to do. I'm glad you were able to do that along with me. Like, those interviews was great. The cocktails were great. The pictures was great. Like,
the cocktails. Oh man. Also, shout out to Mover and Shaker, Nick Hogan. That was a real highlight for me as well, because like you did, and I remember speaking about this, you're like, yeah, we're not going to do cocktail segments. We know how to do that. So to dig in and get to see some of their talents on the bar side and some of the creative cocktails that they came up with from the Campari portfolio using their products, they were phenomenal, fantastic, beautiful, stunning. I want to visit all of their bars when it's safe again. So real quick, what you just said, I don't want to glaze over that importance, and just a brief message to anyone out there who considers themselves a gatekeeper. And maybe if you don't consider yourself one, but if you have the ability to put someone's name forward, if you have that ability, if you've been put in a position where you can recommend someone, give someone some shine, give someone some appreciation, and celebrate someone who may not have had the opportunity, not because they don't have the talent, but because they don't have the access, that has been my favorite part of what you've done. And I'm so excited that Brown and Balance exists, and I hope that everyone that is a gatekeeper and has the opportunity to put names forward, especially when it comes to amplifying Black voices and Black talents, please do it. It's beautiful, magical.
Great. All right, well, with nothing said, let's get to our featured guests and our featured speakers and bartenders. Let's look at the clips.
Do it. Magic.
I gotta come and bring my brother, my homie, straight from New Orleans, Joe Witowski on.
And you didn't say my name right.
I'm telling y'all right now, y'all are in for a treat. Hey. I met this brother in 2018.
Mm-hmm.
That he was at the infamous Brown and Balance. We'll get there in a minute. He was also part of a legendary cabin at Camp Run Amok that I feel I had a little bit of a role in why they are a legendary cabin. So I'm very proud of that. We're going to learn all of that about this brother. But I have to say, how are you doing, Joe?
I am doing real well. And let's start off with, a little shot of some Escalon. That's what does.
In Birmingham, you sort of, especially for me, I was fortunate enough, or my experience was that I got to live sort of two experiences. I went to a pretty mixed, like elementary, middle school, and then went to a predominantly white high school. But I also went to like the second largest Black church in the city. So like you get this like mix of, the whole idea of code switching, like that is a thing that it's not a thing I learned, it just was life. Like you're like, oh, this is how you act here, this is how you act there. And I think that's one of the things for me that has become important and was important, was sort of finding what my actual voice is and like who I am independent of everything else, outside of that and what I stand for. And so, I think what was great about on some level, it's treading those lines of, are you in this position because you're skilled and are doing it? Or are you in this position because like, hey, you're like the one, then we can say diversity, it's like, okay. And if it is the latter, then I'm getting my foot in the door so that in theory, we can open it up. So it's not just, oh, you're the one diversity. It's not a tokenism thing. It's we're really going to like invite Black people to do these things. And we're going to have that diversity actually be real. If we can. But it's also like, okay, well, if it's also that tokenism thing, I understand that this is a transactional relationship. So I'm getting what I can get and then I'm getting out of here.
I was the baby.
Yeah, both of us was. You know what I mean?
I was the baby.
We had no idea what we was really doing, and people thought we was way ahead of where we were, man. So, I just want to say you were at the top of my list, man. I'm really glad you was able to make some time to come on, man, share your story, bro. Because this is major for me. It's the fact that from where we started to both of us on the platform, being sponsored by Campari to do this, all the moves you made over the years. I've seen places all over the country. You know what I mean? I'm moving around doing my thing, bro. I just want to say I appreciate you, man. I love your grind. I just want to thank you for being on here. Straight up,
absolutely, man. And I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you, Josh. Man, in Alexis, anything, man. I'm so proud, man. I shut down a coffee shop for 2 hours to do this. So, there's people walking past here. Can they get in? Nope. I had to get them to turn the music off in the mall. Look, ain't even no music in the mall going on right now. Just for this, the whole mall.
I mean, I kind of feel like we all have like that the similar story of how we started, when we were younger. We didn't know we were going to make it like a career. And then we just kind of fell in love with it and we stuck with it. Hostess, server. And then I was like, oh, like spirits, food. I think it all kind of comes together. and hospitality just kind of drives us to being what we do. And once I turned 21, kind of dove into it and started nerding out, and we just had a good time. And here I'm here. So.
Word. So where are you at now? What place do you work at in North Carolina now?
So I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina. Like you said, Stefan's Huebner's place. Love it. We've been voted best cocktail lounge in Charlotte for the last 3 years, and we just hit our 3-year mark. So we're super humbled by that. That's family right there. And it's kind of funny, like how it worked out when you say, "Oh, Stefan," and things link up that way. So
yeah. The world brings, what I'm learning, man. The world brings people together for a reason, right?
I feel what this generation is going in the direction they're headed is good. I hope that people start to take their value and their worth, as far as they can, really actually realizing how much value they hold. And make sure that you get equity and a stake in the game. It's great to say you're the head chef, but you know what? If you're not the owner, I'll get you out there and have another head chef in here tomorrow.
Exactly.
And the awards and the accolades, they're great, but at the end of the day, like, you want that name on the bottom of your check to be your signature.
Can you tell us, your beginnings in the industry, how you became an industry to where you are now with Brooklyn Brewery?
Oh, Lord, Josh, I am 400 years old, all right? I'm just telling you right now, like, how long do you have for, like, how did I get into this industry? Okay, I'll give you the very short version, because otherwise you can be sitting here and everybody's gonna be like, dead for 100 years before I get going. Well, here's the thing, like, I've been brewing professionally since 1989.
Wow.
Yes, see, now only now does it become clear to him.
I was in 4th grade in 1989.
Yeah,
just so you
I know.
man.
1989, it don't crack. So 1989, so how does this end up happening? I am African-American guy originally from Queens, New York. I grew up in Hollis, which many people know from Run DMC and whatever else. But I had a weird upbringing. I went to a math science high school. My dad was an art director, a trustee of the Rhode Island School of Design, and I was going to go, I went to film school, got into film school, moved to England. Now, I planned to stage manage rock bands. I was going to make videos. I was going to work for, HBO. Like, none of these things worked out. But actually, I did stage manage rock bands. Any of you all out there are fans of people like the Ramones. I took the Ramones bowling once.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I put on REM as the opening band for the English Beat in 1983.
Oh,
That's
wow.
how old I am.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we're going back. But the thing is, I was also falling in love with beer. And in those days, I thought of beer as stuff that I had in college. There was Bud Light, Miller Lite, Coors Light, Heineken. And like, that was it. It was all yellow. It was all fizzy. Some of it was a little bit better than the other, but we didn't actually like it that much. We were like, okay, it's fine. But I moved to England, and suddenly there was all this fascinating beer. And then I went traveling all over Europe, and it's wonderful. And then I got back, and they gave me the same names. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. What about all the variety? And there wasn't any variety. It was 1984.
Well, my story is pretty funny. It's definitely, they talk about full circle, but I really have that going on for me. I, early on got the kind of, these things comes from like a perspective of palate, right? And what my palate was given to me by my father. My father was born into a family, not really knowing his dad for very long, was taught how to cook from a man who was a chef at the Waldorf Astoria in New York as a young man. So he brought the love of culinary tradition into our house at a young age. So that was always on my mind, tasting good things and enjoying wonderful cuisines. I started getting involved in the USBG and learning more about our community on a nationwide scale. So I applied for my first competition. Actually, right before that, I was lucky enough to go to the Brooklyn Beer School. So I met Garrett back in August of 2018. Went there, had a wonderful dinner cooked by him. He worked with his whole brew team and cooked us a beautiful meal. Got to taste some of their awesome, more rare beers there and learn more about their process and how they put their love into what they do, which is an amazing experience. So yeah, I love to put food and drink together. And if you've watched my cocktails and things, you see that happening. So that's why we're here in my kitchen instead of behind a bar.
Well, for me, you know, I do a lot of Instagram lives. I talk about sparkling. I'm really passionate about sparkling wine. I want to bring sparkling wine as a everyday beverage. It's still a wine, it just has bubbles. So I usually do Instagram lives on Monday, not doing one this Monday. But the main thing is I'm launching a mentorship program. If you know any people who want to, like, we have requirements for Black wine professionals, I will say, if you're new to the industry, this isn't the platform for you. It's for people who've already established, already have skin in the game. So we have a 2 to 3 year requirement that you have to be in. But there's a lot. I'm working on scholarships with a bunch of companies. Wine Unified, they're doing scholarships. And if people want to, a lot of places now are giving people scholarships. So if you're watching this and you want to be in the industry and you're trying to move into it, there's a lot of scholarships. Reach out to me. And, you know, I'm on social media. Black wine professionals, Julia Coney, you know, all of that. And I can help you go to everybody. That's one of the reasons I'm doing the mentorship, because so many people ask for mentors and I don't have the bandwidth to talk to people individually. So if I create a platform to talk to them at one time a month, then do the coursework, because it's going to be coursework, because my mentors give me homework. They're going to have homework. So, and you know, I'm not an easy mentor. I tell people this all the time. I'm a hard mentor because I hold your foot to the fire.
Brown and Balance wouldn't be what it is without you, because again.
Oh, hey, check out one more thing.
Go ahead, hold up.
I'm about to be a dab, man.
Hey! Congrats, bro. Hey,
here's my man.
Man, hey, we get all type of exclusive Brown and Balance, man.
I had to give it to you because I was on air here.
Man, hey, I'm very happy for you. Do you know what you having yet?
Oh, it's a boy.
My dog, that's what I'm talking about.
It's a boy, baby.
Bro, I'm about to send you so many tips and tricks.
Oh, you know, I need them. I'm gonna be 40. I'm gonna be a 44-year-old first-time dad.
Hey, man, a beautiful. Hey, let me tell you something. The one thing I can tell you, though, I got 2 boys and a girl, and my oldest, like I said, 18, freshman in college. The only thing that I tell any brother that's having a son, make him better than you. Make him instill everything you know that you've learned in it. So I'm 41, you're 44, so we've had life experience.
That's gonna be hard to get him to beat me. I mean,
hey man, my son, when we had his graduation party, I said, man, you're all the best parts of me without the bad parts of me. So I feel like I did my job as a father. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's the only advice I give all my brothers, man. Make him the best version of you. You know what I'm saying?
All right. Well, I appreciate that, because I mean, you know, I'm scared as hell.
It's rough, man. Thank God ain't a little girl, Mike. My daughter, like, she on TikTok and she getting her nails done and wanting to wear makeup, and I'm over here stressed out, bro, because I'm like, that's my little baby. She ain't supposed to like all that stuff. Like, some little boy was walking her down the street. I ran out the house. Hey, what are you doing, son? Who are you? You know what I mean? So, hey, it's rough, man. But hey, congrats, dog. That's really dope, man. I'm really proud. I'm happy for you. You know what I mean? It's a beautiful thing to be a father, man, for real. So
thank you very much. And all that insight, I'm going to take it all to heart. Send everything that you got to help me out. Now everything's blown out because I think I just told the internet. Told the internet I'm having a kid.
That was good. 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 I think y'all all are on mute. Y'all gotta come off mute. I can't hear you.
You're right. Magic.
That was
magic.
I'm gonna let you guys lead the way. Ladies always first over here. So
Mia. Well, I mean, I always start with Mia.
Oh, wow. I mean, I thought those segments were extremely fabulous. It took me back to so many awesome memories. I even went and grabbed my rose quartz because this is my heartstone, and my heart was wide open watching all of those amazing segments with those wonderful people. Just memories, and exclusives. I forgot about all the exclusives. I think 2 people announced babies on the show. Omar and someone else said that his brother Solomon told that somebody in his family was having a baby. So yeah, there's tons of exclusives that come out on here. Just, you know, admissions and just dope information from amazing people.
For sure. Yeah. Like I said, I think it's that journey, right? You get to see them, read about them, see them through screens, but to hear them talk and tell their stories, because we're missing that interaction, being able to sit at a bar stool with someone and, just chop it up about life, and getting to know them and to hear some of their stories and to see them connect with you, Josh. Anne Louise, you hit the nail on the head. Watching Josh's progression hosting, it's really special. So thank you. Like you said, as a gatekeeper, you really put together an incredible roster of people, and I look forward to everyone that you want to introduce me to ever for the rest of my days.
And I think as a person who does hire people, like you say, like I am a gatekeeper. I didn't realize that about myself until this year, but as we've been choosing people to be in our programming, or I recommend people, I've used a lot of the guests that I've learned about on this program as people I've referred later. So it's so helpful also to give them an opportunity to be on camera, to speak, so that I can hear them and I can say, oh, like here's a clip of them, learn from them. We hired Joe to do a program for Sky for Pride. I'm like, it was so wonderful. And so we've really been able to see people in action versus just like an Instagram account or a Facebook profile, or just to see them behind a bar. To actually hear them talk about their work is so valuable. So thank you for bringing them forward so I could, enjoy them and learn from them, and also be able to help support them moving forward.
Thank you. Well, I'm going to get lost in a minute when we close out. But I got a question for all y'all. I always like to throw a little, curveball question in on the part with it. I need 3 words to describe season 1 of Brown and Balanced Live. Mia. Yep. Yeah. You.
I'm first. Okay. Love every minute.
Nice. And Louise.
Inspiring, exciting, and inspirational. Wait, no, that's 2 words. Sorry. Inspiring, exciting, and visibility.
Good one. Tara.
Black excellence, inspiration.
It's all about nice. Well, look, we are at the end of season 1. This has been a journey. Like I appreciate all of you all for everything you've done on season 1. Everybody who's been on, it's a guest, a segment host, a segment, anything you've done as far as being on camera with us. I want to say thank you to everybody else. I think me and Anne Louise are gonna have a backdoor gangster conversation about too.
I don't do those conversations. I just go like, yes, do it. I don't handle the money.
We're gonna have that old that mob conversation in the back room. Me, you, Lindsay, and everybody else. When we get back there and work out, we might have to do a season 2. This has been amazing. I've learned a lot about myself. I learned a lot about I learned a lot about you guys. All through all of this, it's been a journey. It's been fun. Found out I'm a good host. So take my talents on the road and start doing some different things. I appreciate you all. I had to pull out the diamond anniversary of Wild Turkey for this, man. I only open this bottle up, so anybody knows me, I open this bottle up actually twice a year. My best friend unfortunately passed away 4 years ago. So we were saving this bottle for when one of us got married or somebody else had a kid, because Josh is not having it anymore. So we were saving it for that. And unfortunately, he passed away. So we opened it up on the day we had the funeral. We opened it up on his birthday, which was actually Monday. And now I'm going to open up today. So this is very special for me, for what we're building and what we're doing here, that I wanted to share a toast with you guys of this. So cheers to all of you. Thank you.
Awesome. Tara, I just noticed that's a real tree. That is not like one of those Zoom.
Happy holiday. No, this is for, some magic. You all delivered so much magic. Just a little holiday sprinkle.
Absolutely. Love all of this.
Thank you, Josh. Shout out Campari community one last time. I know that Josh does it. I just wanted one more time, and then I'll be silent.
On the screen, producer, we need everybody to go follow Campari community, slide in their DMs, talk to them, get in tune with them. They are doing amazing things. You're seeing one of the wonderful people behind the scenes that are working with the brand, that are doing just amazing things across the country. So please get involved. All right. So look, the one thing Brown and Balance is known for is, if you've been to a Brown and Balance party, me has been at a few of them, is the music. Now, we ain't had a musical segment because, you know, I don't know Facebook and all how the music works. But I did kind of do some research and find out you can play up to 30 seconds before they cut you off. So before we get out of here, I got the perfect song to end season 1. I said volume 1. I'm thinking about the Best of Me and Love later. I got the perfect song to get us out of here. So producer, we're going to play like 10, 15 seconds. Let everybody in the comments have a little bit of fun. We're going to get out of here. Cool?
Bring it. Magic.
That's it. We out. Season 1 is a wrap.
Thank you.
Stay tuned. We might have season 2. So stay tuned. We might be doing some big things coming up in 2021. Peace.
Happy holidays. Stay safe, everyone. Thank you. Thank you.